Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Phi and this is Money Philosophy. Thank you for coming back for another day of the second video today. I did post the first video which relates to the various trading range of Tesla. And then I forgot that I did make a video on death cross and I forgot to share that with you guys in my editing process. So I'm making a brand new video talking just about death cross right now because I know that it's important for Tesla. For traders, technical analysis is super important and death cross is one of the key events for the stock. So I do want to touch on that. Let's see what the stock will do and let's look through a few different stocks that had death cross in the past and see if we can learn a few things and apply it to Tesla. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I am a growth stock investor and a trader, and I'd love to share with you my investing and trading journeys. Thank you very much, and let's get right into it. So first, let's define what a death cross is in case you don't know what it is. It is a technical chart pattern indicating the potential for a major sell-off and has proven to be a reliable predictor of some of the most severe bear markets of the past century, including 1929, 1938, 1974, and 2008. The death cross appears on a chart when a stock's short-term moving average, usually the 50-day, crosses below its long-term moving average, usually the 200-day. The death cross can be contrasted with a golden cross, which indicates a bull price movement. So let's take a look at some of the death cross that recently formed in various stocks out there and see how it works out and what is the timing of that. So the first stock on my list here is Dropbox, ticker symbol DBX. It formed a death cross on October 15 of last year. And the stock started to drop shortly after. The stock bottom on or around November 2nd. The stock started to drop around October 22nd. So from October 15, where the death cross was formed, to October 22nd, when the stock started to drop, that's about a week. And it bottomed out around November 2nd, which is about another week after that. So from the time the death cross is formed to the time the stock bottoms, at least for Dropbox, is about 2 weeks time frame. Of course, then it start moving back up and then eventually form a golden cross. The second stock here is Tattoo Chef, ticker symbol TTCF. It formed a death cross right around April 26th of this year, and the stock already bottomed a couple days before that, and then it bottomed again on May 11. So April 26 to May 11, sort of similar to Dropbox. Between April 26 to May 11, you're looking at 2 weeks for the stock to bottom out after the death cross being formed. Next is Salesforce. The stock ticker symbol is CRM. The death cross was formed on March 19. The stock never really bottomed in the big way. It just moved down slightly. And the bottom was March 25th, which was roughly 1 week after the death cross. Now, if you notice that the death cross is formed here, but the stock already moved down significantly around 2 months before that, and then attempting to bounce. Gap between the 50 days and the 200 days is too huge, and then it had a big drop. The death cross will be lagging from the actual move. So if you were to enter puts when you have a death cross here, you're not really materializing very much in this particular example. Next, I got ENPH, ticker symbol ENPH. The death cross was formed around June 15, but the stock has not yet bottomed, and today is already July the 12th. So that is about 4 weeks after the death cross was formed. The difference in this particular case is that, once again, the gap between the 50 days SMA and the 200-day SMA is very big, and the stock made a sudden drop. So the 50-day SMA adjusted very fast and formed a very quick death cross. So far, the stock has not been moving down further. The two lines are moving in tandem right now, the 50-day and the 200-day SMA, while the stock is attempting to move back up. So this is very interesting. We don't know what the end result is, and up until this point, a month after the death cross was formed, we have not seen the stock bottom out. Next, we got here Netflix. Netflix also formed a death cross right around June 3rd, and we are at July 12th, and we have not seen the stock moving down. In fact, it crossed and it moved down a little bit, and it started going back up, and it wants to form a golden cross now. So from the time the death cross took place, the stock did go down another day or two, but it never really bottomed, and then it started moving back up. Here is our famous Amazon stock, ticker symbol AMZN. The death cross was formed April the 16th. This was right before the last quarterly earnings. The stock went up some more. Since after that death cross, it went up some more, and then it started crashing down. If you are looking at this death cross here and anticipate going for puts, you will learn a very expensive lesson. Especially Amazon is not cheap when it comes to premium for option trading. So the stock went all the way up to about 35.51, an all-time high at the time, and then start crashing to about 3,100. So $400 down, which is only about 15% down. Then Amazon 200-day and 50-day SMA start moving in parallel, in tandem with each other, until about May 12, when it starts changing trends. So today it is definitely formed a golden cross right within the same time frame with a death cross. It was unclear between the two, and then it has been moving up. So it has not materialized, at least the death cross here. Now that the golden cross overrides the death cross, then I don't see the stock moving down anytime soon. The next one on the list is Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. This one is a classic death cross materializing. So we can see that that death cross was formed February the 5th, and then the stock moved up a little bit more and started to move down around February the 19th. So from February 5th to February 19th, that is about 2 weeks when the death cross started to materialize, and it went all the way down to the first bottom. It was on March 8th. So you're looking at February 5th to March 8th, which is about a month from the time the death cross is formed to the time it materialized. The next several bottoms or support here would be right around March 24, 25th. So that is another 2 weeks from the first bottom. And then we start seeing more falling until this point. So the next bottom was May 13. Then you have another one June 16, and then another one here, July 7th. So the death cross, once again, was formed February 5th, and it has been 5 months and a half after, and the stock's still tumbling. So this is a classic death cross move with Alibaba. So death cross usually would predict something very ominous, Death cross usually predicts something very ominous, very dark, very bearish. The doom and gloom days are coming for these kind of stock. So Alibaba is a classic example of that. And we can see that there are so many troubles with Alibaba and the Chinese government, or Jack Ma being investigated, and all kind of things. So we kind of have to take the death cross with the macro environment, the geopolitical environment, as well as the company itself, in order to predict whether the stock is going to fall or to rise. It's really hard to just take the death cross by itself and say definitely it's gonna fall, because we did see that it did not fall with certain stock like Amazon, right? Or at least it didn't fall according to plan, and it didn't predict a bear market territory ahead of it. In fact, the death cross was formed, and then the golden cross was formed shortly after that. So how are you gonna analyze chart in that particular manner, right? So long story short, let's move on to the next stock here. So going back to Tesla, there are a few scenarios from here. The first is that this is a true death cross, and that Tesla will drop in the next 2 to 3 weeks following Dropbox formula. Now, July 9th was when it formed the death cross. 2 weeks from now would be July 23rd, which is the week before earnings and AI day. 3 weeks from then would be July 30th, and it is very probable then, because by then earnings would be already coming out. If it does drop within the next 2 to 3 weeks following this death cross, then you are looking at about 573 or 550 is the first price target for the drop, and it could potentially go down to 500. So it's very interesting to see what Tesla will do in the first scenario, which is a bear scenario. I do see Tesla moving down fiercely. The second scenario, which is the Amazon scenario, which is where it's going to stay here and move in tandem with the 200 days SMA, and eventually begin to form a golden cross where the 50-day SMA, the white line, will go down and start going back up above the red line. So in that case, Tesla would be going back up. I don't necessarily know how the two lines are going to converge in the next 2 to 3 weeks because of earnings and AI day, and we will see a lot of report on the FSD beta 9. So long story short, there are just a lot of catalysts ahead of Tesla for it to drop. However, once all of these catalysts have run their course, I do think Tesla would likely to drop. I don't know if it would drop before the golden cross is formed or after the golden cross is formed. And what is the magnitude of the drop? Because when you see a death cross, you anticipate a major bearish movement, which is, to me, it has to be at least 550 for it to be worth considering, given the death cross. If it is just a retracement back to about $624, that, to me, that's just not a death cross materializing. The technology sector is very bullish right now. That doesn't mean it won't drop, and that doesn't mean Tesla won't drop. There is a good chance that Tesla will drop after earnings, and the question is just the magnitude. So to me, it's really hard to categorically saying that once a death cross occurs, it anticipates a bearish move. I do think that is generally the case. But I also think that we have to take the technology sector and the company itself into account. With Tesla having a lot of different catalysts, it's hard for the stock to just deflate tomorrow or a week or two from now. But in all fairness, Tesla does have the tendency to sell the news. Whatever news that is going to come out, it's going to sell the news the day of or the day after. So a drop is probably very likely. I just don't see that being catastrophic, and I just don't see that being a crash where this death cross could anticipate anything big. So that is a long way of saying I'm not going to enter a put just because I see a death cross. Am I entering calls? Well, that is besides the point, because the death cross definitely doesn't tell me to enter call. But Tesla is being very bullish right now. I'm not yet entering call until it gets to above 704 and hold for the day. So we'll see how Tesla does next week. So we'll see how Tesla does. So we'll see what Tesla will do tomorrow and this week. Refer to my other video for the different trading range. And I hope that you find this video helpful. Until the next video, bye.